In this lecture, we're going to add ordering into our quest system. The first thing you want to do is go into a quest event and add in an integer that will be stored as the order. So let's put public int order, and we will initially set it to -1 so that we have a default value and we know that that event has not yet been ordered. We want to make our way through the graph from the starting node, following the paths, and then as we encounter each event along the path, we want to give it another number, so that if you got a sequence of straight nodes together, then you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you had two that were sort of that you could do independently of one another, then those ones on that same level would be numbered the same. Now, the graph that we're currently working with, that means it would go 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. Okay, because the 2 3s are both able to be done at that point during the quest. Now, back in our actual quest itself is where we will add in our algorithm that's going to run through your graph and order each of those nodes or events. So just under here before the print, I'll add that in. And we're going to do a breadth first search. If you're not familiar with the different search methods, there are multiple ways that you can traverse a graph. There's A* algorithm that you might be familiar with if you've looked at any waypoint traversing. There's also the depth first search and other ones. This is the breadth first search, and it's the simplest, I guess, of all the different search algorithms. But what's really great about it is it visits every single node in your graph, which is what we want to do. We want to order all of them. If you wanted to use something like an A* algorithm on your graph that went from the first node to the end node, it would find you a short path through your graph and it would skip over any other nodes that it didn't need to visit. But we want to have every single node visited and ordered so that the player has an idea of what quest events they need to do and when they need to do them. So we're using the breadth first search. I don't have enough time in this little short tutorial to explain what that is, but you will find a link on the screen right now to one of my YouTube videos that covers this for you. Now, inside of the breadth first search, what it's going to do is it's going to get, the first time we run it, it's going to get the ID of the starting node. And then it's going to find the quest from that ID. So this time the unique ID is coming through, and then it's going to give us back a link to our event. And when we have our first event, we'll set its order to the order number that gets passed through. Now, in the first case, the default here will be 1. So the first one it gets is 1. Then we're going to loop through for the event its path list. So this is a list of all the different events that you can get to from this event. And then for each of those in that list that hasn't already been numbered by somebody else, we will run the breadth first search from that position. So this is a recursive algorithm that keeps calling itself, keeps working its way down through your graph, and each time it is updating this order number as it comes through into the next node so that you'll get them ordered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or however many that you need. Now that we've got an order added to each of our events, just down underneath that in the print path, we'll just add in some more debug code here so that we can print out what the n.order is, and then you'll be able to see if it's correct or not for whatever particular case you're trying to do. So we'll save that. Then we'll go back into the quest manager where we will actually run this. So we can run this just before we print out the path. Let's go quest.breadth first search, and we're going to give it the ID of the starting node, which is a.getID at this point, up like that. Okay, and that will run after we've constructed our graph, it will give everything an order to follow, and then we can run the print path. So I'm going to save that now. And with all of that saved, let's go back and press play. Go to our console, just clean that up. Okay, press play. And what we will find is a list of the names of our events that you can see here. So I've got test 1 is in order 1, test 2 is order 2, so this is the second one we're going to do. Test 3 and 4 are both on level 3 of what they can be achieved in. So you can actually do both of those events at the same time, or just one of them if you want to, because they both lead into 4. And then 4 in this case, or sorry, the 5th event is numbered 4 because it's the last one, and we've run out of numbers basically. Okay, so that's all working really nicely. The next thing we need to add is a graphical user interface so that as we're playing, we can see what tasks we need to do, and then as those tasks are done, we can feed that back into our graph system. So the whole thing becomes kind of integrated with a user interface, and we need to create a few interfacey type elements for that. So as that's a kind of a separate topic, I'll leave those for the next video and start them there. Thanks for watching. Please support the development of more superb online learning content by subscribing, and as always, visit holistic3d.com to learn more about awesome games development books and tutorials.